What's up, guys? Got a bunch of Twosuns in, 11 in total, so I wanted to do an overview collection update and yeah, just discuss them. In this first part, we'll have 6, the next part will have 5, and this one will be all budgets in the $35 to $70 range. I am showing them in order of purchase as well. Got all of these from White Mountain Knives using the 10% discount code. LTK or Old Sword, either one of those work fine. But first one up is the TS89 here. This is a Wong Shin design, and I paid $32 for this one. The TS89 here is a simplistic, concise, straight line design, pretty much characteristic of Wong's usual style. He does cater to the larger hands ergonomically, and it is quite comfortable. You do get this nice purchase, that large finger groove, and then the smaller one here. The G10 is quite chunky, but it is contoured. A little sharp in this area, could have been knocked down a bit more, but not too bad. I mean, ergonomics are great, so. And then something Wong is known for is this forward finger choil type of flipper thing he does. You see that on quite a few of his models. The pocket clip here is recessed into the G10, which is kind of a bad thing. You don't get a lot of clearance into the pocket, and then with the clip itself not having a lot of clearance too, that just kind of a double whammy there. And then the retention is quite strong. This clip is made for the frame log version of this knife, so it doesn't really suit this budget G10 model, but it is still a nice looking clip, and it does work. It's just once you get about halfway in, it kind of gets tight. You do have these fuller grooves here. They're quite small, but they do work for a reverse flick, and then depending on where you get it, either up here or down here, will kind of depend on your leverage, and also your detent strength will affect it. You can get more leverage down here, but you get more power up here. The detent strength on this one is quite nice. I did tune all of these, and then the detent angle here is normal. Yeah, normal to late. The flipper tab being small, it will still catch your finger before it passes it, but you do gotta make sure you're in the right area. You will get past it, and then it's got that nice shake shut action, quite smooth. Your liners are stone washed, and then this kind of like hex top area that some people don't like, I do, does kind of help with the flipping action, because you get this little scooped area for the finger, and then with the nice jumping here on the flipper tab, you get good purchase, and then just actuates easily. But yeah, good action on this one. Nice budget knife here. Come on. Sorry guys, I'm still learning the zoom and all that on this phone. But that's the first one there. Next up is the TS85 here by Woytko, or Woytko. Still don't know how to pronounce that. Sorry if I butcher that again. But this is a really nice budget knife here. I got the brown micarta variant, and this is known as the pocket tank, which is exactly as stated. It is a pocket tank. It's perfect for a medium to large hand. If you got an extra large hand, I wouldn't recommend going for this one because of that flipper tab. It might dig into your hand, but on mine it's like perfect, and it just sits right up against it and doesn't bother me. But because of that profile with the thick to thin, it will affect you too on a larger hand. I would definitely recommend going for the TS87 here. If you do have a larger hand, since you don't have the flipper tab. And they are quite similar, and they're designed by the same designer, so yeah, go for that option if you're looking for something like this and you do like this design. And then the action out of the box for this one, I was thinking it would be the same as the 87 there, real glassy and smooth, but this one did need a little bit of work. I did manage to get it nice and smooth though, with the shake shut. It's got that high satin sheepsfoot blade, so it does kind of scratch its path into the detent track on the way, you know, down. You can hear that scratchiness a bit, and that will wear in. Really nice strong detent on this one. You get past it, the angle is let's see, yeah, pretty immediate. Real soon past it, flipper tab will hit your finger in the right spot, and then go the rest of the way. And even though this flipper tab is quite large, I really like it. The jimping on it is perfect. It goes around it, and it is just nice and grippy without hurting the finger. You can push button or light switch this flipper tab really nicely, and it just works excellently. Really like that flipper tab, but I know some people won't like it because you know how big it is and how it sticks out. But you do lock in real solidly with that dip. But if your detent is super strong, that might dig into your finger. Just depends on your hand and all that. And this is micarta, as you can see, the brown linen rough micarta. I did smooth it over and polish it up, so it does look pretty nice. It did kind of take this wood grain finish on the show side, which I was quite happy with. Let's get a closer look at that. And then this side was just pretty normal. Nothing too special, but polished up. Stonewash liners, no bearing tracks on this one. That gear style G10 backspacer. But man, that D10 is just excellent. Because it's got a strong lock bar tension, I did give it an earlier lockup, but it's quite solid. I mean, this thing is, it ain't going nowhere. And I did that too to minimize kind of the detent drag and the pressure from the lock bar so that it would have a smoother drop shut. But yeah, not too bad of an action on this one, even though it did need a little bit of work. But TS85, and I paid $41 for that one. Next up is the TS64 here. This is a night morning design, and I just, oh my god, I love this knife. I paid $62 for this, and I mean, god, what a steal. As soon as I saw these on White Mountain Knives, I just had to get it immediately. Surprised these didn't sell out as, you know, quickly as some of the models do, and this being an older one, that's a little bit harder to find. Yeah, I just definitely had to have it. But the TS64 here is a classic beauty by Twosun, night morning, and yeah, full titanium construction with this kind of black wash coated finish. It's a frame lock flipper. It's got that cutout hole, which you can reverse flick Works better if you're left-handed though, because you get more access due to the lock bar cutout. So definitely works in my favor here. Lefties benefit for once. Really nice strong detent. I tuned this one up perfectly as well, and I'm just really happy with this knife. The satin finish on here is quite polished, so you do hear that zippiness, that Twosun zip. But that'll wear in after a little while. So, not a bad thing. And then the action is very smooth. Really excellent pocket clip here. The tensioning is perfect, and in and out of the pocket just beautifully. These are large cutouts, and you can't stick your finger in there, but I mean, why would you want to if the blade is closing? Excellent large forward finger choil, and then ergos are just great. Big knife, but I mean, this is a worker. Tall, flat grind, and thin behind the edge. Real slicey. For an older Twosun too, it's quite thin geometry. And then that sharpening choil, forward finger choil, is just beautifully done. Look at the life in that blade. This blade is like a, what would you classify this? Kind of drop point, reverse Tonto sheep's foot. It's pretty cool. It's got a lot of belly. But great action on this one. The detent angle is pretty early, immediate. Even though you got a small skeletonized flipper here, it will hit your thumb. You'll be way past it and then go the rest of the way. And then the action on this is very smooth. Great detent. Perfectly centered. Excellent lock bar access, like I said. I mean, just a great knife. Really like this one. You can reverse flick it right-handed, but definitely much easier left-handed. But yeah, the TS64. After that, I picked up the TS76 Horizon, and this is quite the interesting design. This requires a second look when you first look at it. You don't really pick up all the nuances from it immediately. It's for a budget knife, it's quite nice. And I would definitely recommend getting the titanium version if you can find it. It is harder to find, much more rare. But yeah, I paid $40 for this one. Definitely worth it. And the TS76 Horizon is a night morning design. Great build construction. Different for Twosun here, where they did this G10 black and green. They textured it quite nicely. And then on this side, they did a stainless steel frame lock side. I don't know if Twosun has done any other stainless steel frame locks, to be honest. But yeah, G10 backspacer, and then your lanyard hole in the back, which is great. It is kind of odd that these aren't the same shape, but it doesn't matter. 420 stainless steel fold over clip. And then the milling on here is just fantastic. I mean, look at that. Especially for a budget knife. And on stainless steel. And then how they did the lines up here. And it transitions into the blade. Just excellent. they did the same on the G10 side. I mean, it's just gorgeous. For a $40 knife, that's great. Reverse Tonto blade, it's beautiful. Nice sharpening choil. Look at the belly on this blade. The jimping is not my favorite. I mean, it's got that like space jimping, and then this is so thin already because of that way this kind of top switch style is. So this more digs into the thumb instead of being like a nice area to rest the thumb. So definitely not my favorite jimping, but it does work. And then the action on this one is pretty good. Not the smoothest, but still pretty good. And then they did that same line work on the flipper tab. The milling, which is pretty cool. Then your jimping, little flipper tab, but does work okay. Yeah, just a nice design overall. D10 angle is quite late on this one though, but that flipper tab will hit your thumb. And then the lock bar is quite strong, the pressure here, being that it's stainless steel and all that. But you will get past it and then go the rest of the way. So that is the TS76 Horizon. Nice budget knife. So next is the TS48 Reaper, another night morning design. I paid $32 for this one, and I'm really liking this model. This is pretty cool. It's got that like gritty burlappy linen micarta brownish green to it, but it's alright. I did polish it up to make it smoother. It had a bit of a polish to it already, but it was gritty in kind of the outline areas, and I definitely smoothed it over and made it look a lot nicer. And then, I don't know why, but Twosun seems to have a fetish for orange on their budget knives, so they did that orange backspacer, which I'm not the biggest fan of, but it's okay. I plan on dyeing it if I can. And then that pocket clip, that black stamped pocket clip, which is just, oh my god, horrible. I had to take it off because that thing was unwieldy, unbendable, and it's just terrible. If you have older Twosuns, then you know what I'm talking about. But nice action on this one. Nice strong D10. I did lighten it up a little bit so that I can reverse flick it. It's a little bit harder to reverse flick left-handed since you kind of give yourself deadlock if your D10's too strong. So I did lighten it up enough to be able to do that, but still have a good solid lockup. No issues. And then, yeah, smooth action while having a nice flipping strong D10. But just a great budget model here. If you can get past that pocket clip. Love that blade, that like reverse Tonto hawkbill style blade. It's just excellent. And then you do have this forward finger choil, a little bit on the smaller side, which night morning is kind of known for doing smaller forward finger choils, but it does work here. So, not too bad. Ergos are great on this knife. I really like the ergos on this knife. It's kind of got that like Kirchhoff dividend style ergo, but being thicker just fills out the hand so much more nicer. So great design here by night morning. And even though I did kind of knock their micarta in the past, after polishing them up, I do like them now. I don't like the way they come, but after doing my tune and working on them and fixing them up a little, they do look quite nice for budget knives. And then the D10 angle on this one is pretty late. But that skeletonized flipper will hit your thumb. You do got to make sure you're catching it right though, and then you'll get past it and you'll be good to go. But it's not an issue at all trying to get it to hit the thumb. This one's got that like top open construction for the internal pin, and then the same with this one. These all got D10 ramps, except for, no, that one's got one. This one doesn't have one. Yeah, okay, but your D10 ramp, right there in the corner. So, last one, guys. I know I'm taking forever, I talk a lot. So, thank you if you're still with me. Is a good one. I picked up the TS180 here in the Burl wood style by Tepe Designs. This is a really cool knife I've been wanting to get for a while, and I really want the titanium frame lock version, but much harder to find. In 14C28N, and I paid $67 for this one. This one's number 149. He does number his designs, or his knives. And being that it's on that black wash finish, it's not going to have the smoothest action out of the box. But I did tune this one up, and it is much better than it was. It does kind of get a little bit stuck sometimes at the end when the D10 is like right there ready to close. And I think that just kind of has to do with the D10 drag and pressure of the lock bar, the tensioning. I do need to work on this one a little bit more, but it is quite a nice knife. And I mean, you could just break it in, getting it right out of the box, and it'll break in quite nicely. But yeah, I was still able to give it a much better action. Good reverse flick, particularly for lefties, since you do get more access to that small hole there. The front flipper on this knife is just perfectly done though, but being that it's you know, one of those front flippers that sticks up, you do have to watch out as it comes around, so your hand is not in the wrong place where it's going to hit your finger. But it does work good. I mean, I'm able to do this with both hands easily as I fail it. And I mean, that's a testament to the flipper tab if you're able to do it with your other hand with no problem. So, great flipper on this one, perfectly centered. That folded over pocket clip style they do. And then let's get a better close-up on that Burl. I need to get better with the camera, guys. Alright, I'm down to my final seconds, but here's a D10 angle. And yeah, just great knife. So I'll be doing part 2 soon, so please stick around. And thanks for watching, guys. Part 2 will have much better Twosons. So yeah, definitely stick around. Have a good one, and I'll see you on the next one. Later, guys.